Welcome everybody to the International Spotlight Series on Bahamas. We're just going to wait for a few minutes just for everybody to come in. We just let the doors open. And as soon as I have our notes that we are ready to start, we'll be starting. So give us 2 minutes for allow everybody to populate the room. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to the Bahamas and the International Spotlight Series. We are joined by 3 guests. Christine Wallace-Whitfield, Lana Rademaker, and Paule Romulus. Excuse me. We're going to start off with Lana. She's got a customer that's coming to come into her. So we want to talk to her. And Lana has been involved as a chief brokerage officer and co-owner of. Help me with this, Damiano's, Sotheby's International Realty, and Lyford Key, Sotheby's International Realty. She's highly regarded as a real estate professional and a mentor and leader of esteemed sales at Sotheby's International Realty. And since taking on as her firm in 2014, she has had a number of people in professional development and coaching. Her leadership philosophy has been through transparency and a positive mindset. So Lana, if you can go ahead and discuss to us and give us from a broker standpoint the importance of what they're doing out there in the Bahamas. Thank you.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're in sunny Nassau, both Christine and I, who have worked together for many, many years. So thanks for joining our webinar, and I hope that we're able to share something about our beautiful country that's of interest to you and hopefully eventually your clients. I'm going to start my presentation with a video that'll just give you an overview of our country and some quick facts about the jurisdiction. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to begin my video.
It's delivered yesterday morning, nowhere to be found. Went to the leasing office, mailroom, everything, not found. And it's just the second time now it's just magically go missing.
Please make sure everybody is muted on their
channels, please. Very frustrating.
So as you can see from our video, we live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We are an archipelago of 700 islands and keys. We have about a total population of 400,000 people. About 30 of our islands are inhabited. We're 50 miles off the southeastern coast of, sorry, I just want to screen share this as well. Okay. We are 50 miles off the southeastern coast of Florida, and we are an independent English-speaking country. The Bahamas' average temperature is 69 degrees to 83 degrees Fahrenheit. So our climate is usually what attracts most snowbirds to the Bahamas. We are Damiana Sotheby's International Realty, as was introduced. We are a third generation family owned and operated business. I'm the third generation. The company was started in 1945 by my grandfather, and my uncle and I are business partners, and we are in the day-to-day with our team. We have 8 offices throughout the country, a total of about 50 agents and administrators, and we are in Nassau, Lyford Key, Old Fort Bay, Eleuthera, and Abaco. However, we work with clients and listings throughout the entire country. Our agents are more than happy to jump on a plane or a boat to meet with clients wherever they may be. Our team has a very diverse background, which is what I think differentiates us. We have agents that are very comfortable conducting business in English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. Fantastic group of agents. We do a lot of business with Christine and her brokers and agents in her company. Really dedicated to our industry. They love sharing the lifestyle of the Bahamas, bringing people here from all over the world to experience everything from crawfishing in the Abacos and island hopping in the Exumas. So this year marks the 76th anniversary of our company. We're very proud of our history. We have very deep roots in the community, and the Sotheby's International Realty franchise is obviously opened the doors for us to work with a worldwide network. So as I was just stating earlier, there are a lot of islands in the Bahamas that are not populated. The majority of the population resides on New Providence, Eleuthera, Abaco, and Exuma. Nassau is in New Providence. It's the capital of the country and where the majority of commerce is. We have the highest concentration of blue holes in the world, an underwater cave system, 27 national land and sea parks. I think we're a very unique location, especially for buyers coming from the US. We have a lot of direct flights coming in, and with COVID having been a little bit behind us, we've seen those direct flights start to really open back up. Throughout the pandemic, most of our buyers have been American, which has been a shift from previous years. Previously, prior to COVID, most of our buyers were coming out of the UK, Europe, Canada, but with such limited flights over the past year and a half, almost all of our buyers have been American. And we've really seen, I think Christine can attest to this, we've really seen demand for our country just absolutely skyrocket. And now, only within the past month, have the flights out of the UK and Canada really started to get back into a regular schedule. So we're just starting to see that more international buyer come back to the Bahamas. So we have 9 private jet centers, and then our international airport in Nassau is one of the busiest airports in the Caribbean. So access into the country is huge for us. Ease of getting here, direct flights, that plays a huge role in our market. There was a question about COVID and just conducting business. We're doing a lot more in-person transactions now, but for I would say about 10 months there, we had a lot of virtual sales. People becoming very comfortable with purchasing through video tours, and obviously lots of conversations, video calls with our agents locally. But now that people can actually get here, we're back into the traditional, people want to come, they want to see it, feel it, understand the country, understand the process in person before they pull the trigger. Our demand over the past 2 years has really been focused on homes that are secluded. privacy, more space, getting to the out islands where it's not as populated, it's a little bit off the grid, very quiet lifestyles, and people can be outdoors on the beach, just enjoying nature, enjoying the beauty of our islands, and just escaping city life or wherever they may have come from. Seasonal rentals and vacation homes, that is a part of our market that has just, I would say, quadrupled the demand for it and the transactions. The seasonal rental homes here do very, very well. So the return for an investor is very favorable, as well as having a place that they can come call it their own. We were usually seeing demand for longer term rentals, 6 months, 12 months. That's traditionally been how people would enter into our market. Now, or vacation rentals come for 2 weeks over Christmas holidays. Now the trend is really shifting towards a 3 month or 6 month rental. They get here, get settled, and then identify where they want to buy, what sort of lifestyle suits them, and what type of property works. So just to speak a little bit about ownership costs in the Bahamas, each party pays their own legal fees. We do have a value-added tax in our country on all services and goods. It's 12%. There is a transfer tax on real estate transactions, and it is 10%. That is split equally, usually between the buyer and the seller. And our annual real property tax on an owner-occupied home is approximately 1% of the value of the property. Excuse me. The Bahamas is unique in that we offer a residency program. In order to qualify for permanent residency, you need to make an investment of $750,000 or above. So we do have a lot of foreigners that want to become permanent residents in the Bahamas. It means they can live here, exist here for as long as they like, and there's no minimum time period for them to be physically present in the country. It does not give them the right to work, but they can. We have a lot of buyers coming out of the UK and out of Canada, and even out of certain South American countries that will become residents in the Bahamas and non-residents of their home country. And it has impact and effect on advantages for them for their taxes, whatever their taxes are in their home country. You can also get annual residency, and this can be done through leasing a vacation home and or a purchase of a house. I think the threshold is now $250,000 and above. There is a program for accelerated permanent residency for an investment over $1.5 million. Accelerated is a generous word for the process. But in general, if you're spending over $750,000, you put your application in, you will get your residency. And we hope they will continue to process them as quickly as possible. You can take title personally through a holding company, a trust. All of these still allow you to be eligible for permanent residency, and it is valid for life. It doesn't need to be renewed on an annual basis. It doesn't expire. And as I said, that is one of the main driving reasons we have investors come to the Bahamas. Buying a condo, lock up and leave it, personal home, renting your house, all of these, we have very little restrictions, just depending on the location that you purchase in. But as I noted before, the driving trend right now is to find a property where you can do vacation rentals, and the return for those investors, I know, especially in the past 2 years, has been considerable. For buyers looking for financing, we do have options for them for US dollar loans. We have a number of retail and private wealth Canadian private wealth divisions of major Canadian banks that work solely and focus on US dollar financing for foreigners purchasing here. Generally, loan to value is about 50%, and average term would be about 15 years. So we do specialize in making those introductions and assisting the buyers from start to finish. So I'm going to stop my screen share. That is about the extent of my presentation. A few things that were asked is how we're able to operate on different islands. As I noted, we have agents on various islands, but if we do have listings or showings on an island where I don't have an agent, the agent working with the client will hop on a plane, a boat, they will make a day of it. It's just part of doing business here. So it's, you know, takes a little bit of organization and logistics, but it's kind of fun to get out there on a seaplane or a helicopter sometimes and take a look at private islands and getting off the beaten path a little bit. We are seeing a return to normal in terms of market and activity. This year has been, I think it's safe to say for all brokerages in the Bahamas, it has been a record year in terms of production and sales. So we're very low on inventory at this point, almost on all of our islands. The demand has outpaced the supply. And we are hopeful that 2022 will continue to be a good year. But again, prices have gotten very strong and supply is very, very tight. So we'll see where things go. And one last thing I just like to mention is that, as I mentioned before, a lot of our buyers were coming from the UK. I know that's a big market in Florida and in the States. We are just starting to see those buyers come back. The flights out of London, the direct flights into Nassau started about 4 to 5 weeks ago. And coming into the winter season, we're starting to see more of those clients come back, inquire, make their plans to visit and start looking at real estate. So it'll be interesting to see where that the trend goes in terms of the origin of the buyers.
Lana, I know that you're going to go, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions in
Sure.
case you're not able to come back. Is that all right?
Sure.
Tell me about are you a part of an MLS there, or is that something that and how would a Florida resident can they apply to be a member of your MLS if you do have one, and how does that work?
We do have an MLS system. Christine, who's the president of our Bahamas Real Estate Association, is deeply involved with the association and with the MLS. But in order to be on the MLS, you need to be licensed in the Bahamas. And in order to become a licensed agent in the Bahamas, you have to actually either be a Bahamian citizen or you have to have permanent residency with the right to work. So those are two qualifiers for being able to take the course and to get your license. So the MLS here is actually running and working very, very well. If you're a member of the MLS, you do have the IDX feed to your website. So when you go on my website, you go on Christine's website, you can see everybody's listings, which is wonderful exposure for the property and the listing. But no, we do not allow non-Bahamian agents to put properties or to be a part of the MLS.
It's very important for all the agents over here to hear, because we want to respect what they're doing in the Bahamas. So how would somebody refer or do you accept referrals, and how does that work? Yes.
We work very closely with agents really from anywhere on a referral basis. The standard referral fee is 25% on the referring side of the transaction. And it works very well. I think that most foreign brokers and agents are very respectful that we are a separate country. We're not part of Florida. But I have noticed that there are Bahamian properties listed on some of the MLSs in Florida, which I find so interesting. We don't know how that's happening. But yes, on a referral basis, we are happy to work with foreign brokers and agents.
I think that's a very important for all of us to know, is that we need to respect the sovereignty and the jurisdiction of realtors all over the world, and it's best to realize that there are customers and as opposed to our clients, and so that we need to share those places with people who do know, and that's in the best interest of our customers. Tell me a little bit about the prices. We've seen here a tremendous, 100, 200, 300,000 increases, in property values here, and to multi-million-dollar prices are there. Is there a sweet spot, and how has that affected the local residents in the Bahamas?
Well, we very much specialize in the upper end of the market. So in our market, this time last year, my average sales price was about 1.4. And when I ran my stats in August for this year, my average sales price is about 2.6. So we've seen some very strong movement in the upper end.
Good for you. How about, I noticed you're also in Lyford Key. So tell me about that location, because that's kind of like, for us knowing, that's kind of like the Sarasota or the Beverly Hills, is that not, of the Bahamas?
It is.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Lyford is on the western side of Nassau. It is absolutely known as the most exclusive and private community in the country. We do have a couple of other new communities that are, I would say, are getting their way up there. But in general, Lyford is the average. The starting prices in there now are about $4 million for a home. That not canal front, beachfront houses, to which I think we only have one on the market right now. They're starting at about 20 million and go up from there. It's you have the private Lyford Key Club. You have a marina, beautiful beaches, but yes, it is considered to be top tier.
Excellent. If you would stay with as long with us as you can.
Thank you.
Some of the questions also that came in was asking if you would make your video available, and if you could put before you left, if you made sure you put your information in the chat box, so if somebody wanted to contact you directly. Is that okay? And there's one, let me see, there's another question. You mentioned that there are some developments on the outer islands. Could you expand upon that? Also, could you, you already talked about the prices and ranges over there. I think, especially, Eleuthera, the Abacos, they've really been, for the last several years, been trying to really build up that area. And a lot of times you've had some weather conditions that have been starting and stopping that, correct?
Well, Abaco, as pretty much everybody knows, got hit very, very hard with Hurricane Dorian 2 years ago. Rebuilding is still ongoing very much. However, people who are drawn to the Abacos, they're back. And the Abaco market is very strong. There are very few properties for sale on Hopetown, Elbow Key, Guana Key, Manowar, even in Treasure Key, where you had a lot of damage, even those beachfront properties, because that is one of the most beautiful beaches in the country. A lot of those storm damaged properties, they did sell. They, when the owners wanted out, they didn't want to rebuild. Those were the opportunities. Those have almost all changed hands now, and now everybody is in the rebuilding process. So construction in the Abacos is booming. Finding good workers and materials is now a concern. But a lot of movement in the Abacos. There's a very high-end development there called Baker's Bay. That's on Guana Key. They've also been in rebuilding, and that is, I know a lot of homes there are getting finished and redone. Throughout Abaco and Eleuthera, these are areas where developers are seeking opportunities, and they're coming in and they'll buy large tracts of beachfront property. And in order to get their approvals from the government, they have to put forth what the development plan is in order to get their economic approval. And whatever it may be, if they're doing a condo hotel or a boutique hotel, or if they're just doing residential properties. So the Bahamas is very much on the map for developers. In the Eleutheras, you've got Harbor Island, which is a very small, charming, beautiful, small island. That is recently had a new marina development begin there, and they will be selling residences in residential lots. I think the lots are going to be starting around $2 million. All of the price points are really, they're up there. On mainland Eleuthera, as you get a little further towards the middle of the island, beautiful beaches there. I know we're personally working with a lot of developers looking for opportunities to come in and do either a boutique hotel with a residential component where they'll sell condo hotel units, but the units will stay a part of the hotel program. So the owners do have, they do have income. They put it back into the rental pool, the hotel. So both of those, and then we also see a lot of movement in the Exumas, which I'm sure Christine will speak to. She does a lot of business in Exuma, which is possibly one of the most beautiful places on earth. And it's a chain of islands, and then you have one large island, beautiful beaches. You've got a couple of high-end resorts down there, golf courses, and an international airport. So I do see a question here. The name of the high-end community she mentioned, that's Lyford Key that we were speaking about before.
And that's spelled Lyfordcay.
Yes, correct.
And how are the infrastructure and the utilities? Are they still being affected from the storms, or is it?
No, Abaco is restored. Their electricity and water phone systems, I wouldn't say they're always 100%. I mean, we're still in the islands,
Right.
Power outages, but in general, they are operating almost back to capacity there. And it's still now just the rebuilding of homes, buildings, amenities, so forth.
Okay. Well, thank you, and please stay on as long as you can.
I will. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Don't forget to put your information
I'm
on the
going to
chat.
do it now.
Okay,
Thank
great. Oh, and one other thing, if they wanted to get a copy of the video that you did, can they request that directly from you?
Absolutely. I just got that version yesterday. So we haven't even posted it to our site. I haven't shown it to anybody, but they can certainly reach out to me, and it will be on our YouTube page as well, and my website. I'll put all that on here.
All right. GBC members, the first to receive this information. Okay. So thank you, and stay with us as long as you can. So our next guest is Christine Wallace-Whitfield. Christine worked as a graphic artist and photographer in Nassau until she relocated to Freeport in 1996. She began her the following year she began her career in real estate, becoming a sales agent and then the broker with two of the Grand Bahama leading real estate companies, and now it's an amazing boutique company called Island Living Real Estate. She obtained her certified real estate specialist and certification, National Association of Realtors in the United States, and has soon become an officer manager of a leading company. And she is, as has been told before, is part of in the Exuma case. And Christine, can you tell us a little bit more?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, so should I go ahead and start?
Yes. Yes. Introduce it and then go ahead and if you want
right.
to.
Yeah, let me see if I can remember. I'm gonna follow Lana. All right, so oh, let's see.
Hi, I am Christine Wallace-Whitfield, and I am the president of the Bahamas Real Estate Association. And we are the regulatory body here in the Bahamas for the real estate industry, and we have over 800 members ready to serve you. Our real estate industry is quite quaint, and we are really a united people. You know, the brokerage firms, the agents, brokers, everybody basically gets along. We work together and we know how to co-broke, as they say. The Bahamas MLS is a wonderful tool. Like other MLS around the world, the MLS helps to promote and make the search easy for international customers and clients looking to purchase their dream property here in the Bahamas. If you have a customer or client that is looking to purchase property here in the Bahamas, we accept referrals. We have a bilateral agreement with the National Association of Realtors, and we are here to help and assist your customer or client. Feel free to visit the BREA website for a list of all of our licensed brokers and agents who are willing and able to assist you with your search.
Okay, good afternoon, brokers, associates, colleagues, and friends. So, as you heard, I am the president of the Bahamas Real Estate Association in my 4th year. And please allow me to start today by telling you how honored I am to be with you and how excited I am to share some information about property in the Bahamas. Like Florida, where you have experienced more than 400,000 new residents since April of 2020, the Bahamas market, which was hot before, has exploded with demand. As Lana has said, we have been experiencing major sales and it has been wonderful. We cannot complain. If Florida is the #1 choice of Americans for relocating since the COVID-19 pandemic turned our worlds upside down, the Bahamas is the #1 choice in this hemisphere outside the US. So there are many opportunities and many challenges that we share. First, what has been interesting is the appeal of the Bahamas to buyers from Canada, South America, and Europe, with Canadians in particular choosing to relocate to the Sunshine. And now we've seen an increase with Americans. I know one of the questions that we were asked when the pandemic first hit was how we in the real estate industry were able to operate. Here we were faced with never before seen mounting demands, and we were in lockdown. That hurt, but we quickly adapted with Zoom calls, relied on video tours. Most of the firms with in-house marketing upped their game. So the pain of not being able to show property in person for months was eased by showing it the same way you and I are getting together today and sharing information and ideas. We lived, showed, and sold in a virtual world. As the world turned to Zoom-like meetings, and we in the Bahamas adapted in many ways, I think we were among the leaders because we had to be. In the Bahamas, we lived under what was called emergency orders, with early curfews, COVID police, strict mask requirements, risk temperature taken everywhere we went. It was so strict in the beginning that we could have been cited for not wearing a mask in our own yard. Our borders were closed for a long time in order to control the spread of COVID-19. It was devastating to a tourism-based economy, but effective as a health measure. To this day, even since the border reopened 6 months ago, our total infection case count since the first case was diagnosed on March 15, 2020, is just over 22,000 for the entire nation. I believe that is less than the state of Florida experienced in a single day at the height of the pandemic. While we were controlling the spread, this incredible demand for the Bahamas from outside our borders was building. Individuals and families waking up and saying, if we have to work remotely, why not do it in a place that is warm, a place where the sun shines year-round, where the taxes are reasonable, and where I can truly enjoy life. Almost a year ago, the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism introduced the Beats program, where they encouraged visitors, foreigners, to come and kick off their shoes and unwind while working remotely from their hotel or their Airbnb. However, not all borders were open at that time. This was an easy process, which was complimentary at the time, and it was an attractive one. The difference was that in Florida, you could show property in person while we were showing online until we were able to move out more. Even then, showings were limited depending on square footage, very controlled with proper distancing, masks, sanitizer. Those were small details. The further complication was that the lawyers' offices were closed, and in the Bahamas, most closings are handled by law firms, as opposed to title insurance companies, How did we handle that, you may ask? Surging demand and our hands loosely tied to protect our health while our economy suffers and people are knocking at the door trying to get in. We did it slowly, one sale at a time, often working with the client on a lease arrangement until such time as a full closing could be scheduled. There were luxury condos converted in part to office space where folks in some professions could work from their new space while their children attended school virtually, and where instead of worrying about snow tires or railway closures, they could take a break halfway through the day and go for a swim. We had some clients who bought sight unseen, relying on what they were able to see on the MLS. And I am proud to say that we have a very thorough MLS system in the Bahamas. One of the many features that we in the industry in Florida and the Bahamas have in common. Our agents co-broke just as yours do. So again, we are far more alike than we are different. Fortunately, and I think this is something that a lot of people in Florida do not realize, in our day-to-day operations and in our industry governance, the Bahamas Real Estate Association, BREA, is the equivalent of another branch of the National Association of Realtors. Your articles of association are our articles of association. Like you, we have an ethics committee and an education committee. Like you, we have pre-entry training, exams, and sponsorship by an agency requirement before admission. We have been told that our entrance exams are tougher than Florida's, and not because we want to keep people out, but because our national legal framework is based on British law. And while we use the word common law, there's nothing common about it. Search before a sale is completed can go back hundreds of years, and there's yet a history that makes that search less complicated. In fact, BREA is lobbying for such a registry right now, and that is one of the few differences between us. Another difference lies in the use of the word realtor. Only a handful of our members are realtors, can sell realtors. As I said, we have a bilateral agreement with the National Association of Realtors, and as the word realtor is trademarked, we have been working on educating our members about the use of the word. And I am proud to bear the title realtor and wear that badge with honor. We are working along with the Florida Gold Coast Association and NAR on a campaign to bring awareness and encourage our members to join and become an IRM. As we all know, there are many opportunities being a member with NAR and an IRM, so we will encourage BREA members to sign up. While this all sounds very seamless and sophisticated, I will not lie. There was a time in the islands of the Bahamas where a pioneer's playground and trading or selling properties often felt like a gold rush of sorts, with wild, wild west tactics. But those days are long gone, thank goodness. So today, real estate in the Bahamas is a very tightly regulated profession. We've come a long way. BREA has more than 800 members, with almost all practicing full-time. Through BREA, our sales associates may enroll in a course to advance their soft skills as well as their professional knowledge with seminars and workshops. Leading real estate firms send their best and brightest or those with the most potential to real estate events in the US and elsewhere. Like you, networking is the foundation on which we stand, and trust is the pillar on which we depend. But unlike you, we are spread out over 500 miles with 100,000 square miles of open ocean. We are often asked, how do you sell real estate with property when property is scattered across so many islands? And I love that question because I get this picture of someone who does not realize how connected we are, imagining an agent putting on a bathing suit, holding up a sign saying, "Follow me," and swimming to a nearby beach where drinks with paper umbrellas and a form that says, "Sign here" are waiting, if it was so easy. I hate to disavow them at that image, but the reality is far less glamorous. We have numerous local, national, and international flights that dash between islands all day long, many flights lasting 20 minutes or so. We also have an extensive inter-island ferry system, and several firms have brokers and private vessels, planes, and seaplanes that take people to populated islands or a private island that may be up for sale. Beyond infrastructure, there is something we think of as local knowledge. Just as agents in your firm specialize in certain areas, we have agents throughout the Bahamas who specialize in their islands. The international affiliates tend to have agents in the most popular islands in addition to their headquarters in Nassau. There is always great cooperation between companies and agents, and as we live on many small islands, it makes the conversation and work easy, fun, and less complicated. The majority of those who have been in the real estate industry for years tend to know the history of most properties for sale. They may even know who it belonged to before the current owner, and even back before that. It has more of a family feel, maybe because while we are spread out, we are still very small. The population of the Bahamas is about 400,000 or less than the city of Fort Lauderdale. And it seems like everybody who is Bahamian has family on at least one of the family islands. Sorry, you have to excuse me, my office is right on the road. But when we speak about an area, a community we believe shows promise or somehow sends a warning signal because, for instance, it is low-lying and prone to flooding. Our agents share the knowledge. We know that honesty builds trust and loyalty. Whether we have taken the listing or we call an agent in one of the family islands, the conversation is almost always friendly and congenial. I think there is less a sense of competition and more of a connection. I know someone in their family, they are connected to someone in mine. It is just a fact of the size of the country and the fact that people move around from family islands to Nassau on a regular basis. Knowing properties is very useful when representing a customer or client or working with a listing agent. Just as there is a sense of community in the real world of Bahamian life, there is a sense of community in the real estate world where we have a heritage of small and connected, and where we take pride in the standards we uphold and the esteem with which the profession is held in the Bahamas and abroad. Yet we still have a way to go. In addition to the need for land registry, which involves a massive audit and national appraisal, we have one issue that drives me personally around the bend, and that is rogue agents coming in and selling property in the Bahamas without working with a BREA agent. This is blatantly against the law. BREA welcomes agents from abroad, including all of you on the call today. You have potential buyers that we do not have, so we need you. We appreciate that. But when you bring those buyers to the Bahamas, whether a private island owned by an American or other Bahamian, you are required to work with a licensed BREA agent. Believe me, this works in your favor, as well as being the legal and ethical thing to do. As BREA agents, it is our responsibility to understand the law, to know the market in the immediate area where your client is looking, to share information about taxes, to explain central bank and other monetary and regulatory policies. You would not wander into a strange land without a map, and you should not wander into the Bahamas without letting one of our licensed agents be that map for you. We look forward to working with you and to continuing to build on our relationship for our mutual benefit. We are, as they say, all in this together and stronger for it. And that is a very, very good thing. Thank you.
So thank you for that. I'm just going to go to you in just for a couple questions. How long is a typical closing take?
Oh, it depends. It depends. It depends if it's, well, cash buyer or if it's financing. You know, financing always takes long. Yeah. But cash buyer, once there aren't any problems with the title, that can take a good 45 days for a foreigner purchasing, because you remember it's got to go through central bank approval process, especially when you've got US dollars coming into Bahamian dollars. But then the process becomes a little bit faster if, let's say, the seller if the foreigner owns a property here in the Bahamas and is selling to another foreigner. So that way, it's a little less time because they then get a different type of approval for the money to be sent. So, but I would say 45, 60 days, but and then sometimes it can be 90 days. It depends. It really depends, and it depends on the attorney too. But all the attorneys, look, they want to get the work, because here you do have to use an attorney. You know, it's like I said, you have to. We do have the British law system.
And can you tell me, one of the things we hedged on was the title. How long does title usually take to get?
Well, title search normally takes anywhere from 7 to 14 days. Like I said, it really kind of depends on the attorney, and I always say don't do it around Christmas time, because we always tend to take some of that time off and things go slow. We definitely go on some island time, but but yeah, I would say 7 to 2 weeks. It can take a little bit longer, and that's probably because there might have been an issue with the title. Yeah.
Okay. One of the other persons says, could you give us a little bit more about the term family island that you mentioned?
Okay, well, family island basically refers to the out islands. So as you know, Nassau, New Providence is the mainland. This is the capital. And so the family islands are Abaco, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Exuma, all of the other islands that you would have to either take a boat to or a plane. Excuse me.
Great.
Yeah.
And we know that, as we said earlier, and you said as one of your main issues on there, what should a person, if they have no contacts, unless they have with you or with Lana, how would they go about? Would they contact the association and trying to build relationships? I know that we have a relationship here, and we'd like to build upon that. Okay. Carla, as you know, was one that I think helped, and I think you were part of that as well, as putting together that document together. And so, tell us how you would like to see these relations initiate, because we're so close, and we should expand our businesses as international realtors. And I know you have the CIPS designation and a couple other things. How would you like to see that relationship build?
You know, just how we're having more of these you know, Zoom calls, and it would be good to. I think we definitely need more of this, and this is something that I've been speaking with Carla for years on, building our relationship, because it's so important. Because everything, look, this is real estate. Real estate is internationally, locally, globally. It's so we have to be together as partners on this, and just help to build. And also, with the memorandum of understanding that we have together, I think this is just one step to keeping the relationship, and then also education to your members. I know you'd mentioned it earlier. You talked about, like, how was it for somebody, American or foreigner, to come in and try to list or sell property. Can't. It's against the law, just as we can't go over there, so we have to have respect for each other, and which I know we do, but we just have to make sure and keep that. I don't to drill it into everybody, but just have to keep it mindful, so that it's okay, send a referral. And we've done the forms. I'm happy to send you a copy of the form. I had it, I think, to the convention year before last, obviously before COVID, where we have the referral forms. And so that's something that we just need to kind of keep out there, and everybody should be mindful of,
Yeah, and so beforehand, if you can put your, before we go to the next one, to Paul, if you could put your information up so people can also contact you, and if possible, if you can post that referral to us here, and then what we do is we'll see if we can get that out, because we all know here we're in the same boat. Other people coming to this place, oh, I know somebody, I can do that. So we're well aware, we understand that. Let me see, we got two other questions. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and we have, like I said, we have very similar, we have similar products that everybody wants. They want the sunshine.
Right, right.
Florida has the sunshine. The Bahamas has the sunshine. We have, the salt water, the beautiful breeze. We have a lot to offer. So, we have to protect our shores and, our communities and our jurisdictions, because, that's all we have.
Okay, and what is the average cost of the attorney for doing the clothing?
2.5%, 2.5% on, for the portion, whether it's buyer or the seller. So it's normally 5%, but the buyer and the seller, they share it equally. Yeah.
Okay, of the total sale.
Yes, correct. Yes, sorry, the gross sales price.
Okay. And I don't know if the person is understanding it. Here's a question. If someone sells a U.S. Bahamian listing and goes to the Bahamas with the buyer, how much will be the fee for I'm just reading it on the sign, Bahamian agents will charge to assist the buyer. To answer that, the Bahamian realtor does not assist the U.S. realtor. The U.S. realtor should always refer that off to the Bahamian realtor, and they will send you what's typical is what I understand was a 25% commission on that side.
Correct.
So that's what we're talking about, is we do not want to go to a different jurisdiction in the U.S. It's breaking the law, and in the Bahamian it's breaking the law, and it's also breaking the law of the code of ethics that we have with the NAR here. So please, 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 if you do anything in the business, refer first, and then have somebody else, somebody who's competent in that jurisdiction, assist you. And remember, you save so much time, effort, and you don't want any egg on your face, right? Okay. So, anything else you want to offer? And I'm going to.
So with that referral form, can I put that into the chat, or should I just email it?
Yeah, put it into the chat. I think you can. I'm not an expert on this, the chat forms here, but if you can send it to Denise, if not, and we can get it out to everybody. And I'm probably the least technical person here, so I apologize.
I'm there with you.
Okay, yeah, they left me all alone and the lights turned off. I don't know. So, anyways, Christine, can you stay with us to the
I'll
end?
stay as long as I can. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great, perfect. Okay, our next contributor is Haitian-born Paule Romulus, and she's currently serving in the 2021 National Association of Realtors Global Ambassadors. So she is the United States Global Ambassador for the Bahamas, Bermuda, Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. She has also been appointed as a 2022 to the same countries in Trinidad and Tobago, and she is the 2022 Women's Council of Realtors for Orlando and incoming 2022 president. She is the co-owner of Lethbridge LLC and a real estate investment firm, and vice president of Belmont Enterprises, a nonprofit organization to help dislocated Haitians, immigrant children in the Dominican Republic. Paul, appreciate it. Make sure you unmute yourself. There we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel, Jetty, for the warm introduction, and thank you all who are participating in this International Spotlight Series of the Bahamas. Should I continue?
Yes, it's whatever you want to tell us, and we'll ask some questions on the end there.
Okay. As a Caribbean, it's an honor to be part of this event and a privilege to be the current National Association of Realtors Global Ambassador. I was asked to speak about my NAR role as an NAR Global Ambassador to the Bahamas, but I'd like to first tell you about a series of fortunate events that accompanied my journey and brought me here. I was raised in Miami, and my mother started a family real estate business for over 20 years. And after managing, investing, and being a landlord in both Miami and the Dominican Republic, I moved to Orlando. And when contemplating on my next career move, I continued in real estate and obtained my real estate license, joined a brokerage, and scheduled my orientation at my new member orientation at my local association here in Orlando. After the orientation, a staff member asked me if I'd like to join them for the global meeting at the Global Business Council. And I joined them. I say, sure, why not? And at that meeting, I met the global ambassador for the Dominican Republic, the NAR global ambassador. And I asked her questions to learn a little bit more about the NAR global ambassador. She first congratulated me of becoming an agent and also of joining the NAR. She informed me that the NAR was America's largest trade mission with about 1.5 million real estate professionals. And she also explained to me the benefits of it is that all of them are professionals who subscribe to a strict code of ethics. So when I will be dealing with any professionals in any countries that are realtors, I will know that I'm dealing with the highest level of professionalism that exists in the real estate industry today. So I asked her what was the purpose of the NAR Global Ambassadors, right? And she explained that it was the program was to help grow international business of all real estate agents, including in the Bahamas, the US, all over the world. She explained to me that they are the NAR they signed a bilateral agreement with the Association of the countries such as BREA in the Bahamas, and they are appointed a Ambassador Association, which is the Royal Palm Coast for the Bahamas, since we're speaking about the Bahamas. And NAR, those three have a bilateral agreement. Then on a yearly basis, the president of NAR appoints a global ambassador to those countries to serve its purposes. Generally, most global ambassadors have to be CIPS designees, as I myself. Ideally, they have to have some knowledge of the real estate practices of that country, the culture, the language, at least of one of the assigned countries. And I love the Bahamas and I visit there quite often. And I do have some knowledge about the regions that I represent, because I represent Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Bermuda, Jamaica, and now Trinidad and Tobago. And she also explained to me this would be a perfect fit for me because the NAR Global Ambassador Program is extremely diverse and it gives opportunities and embraces fully all perspectives and walks of life. So that's what started my role of becoming an NAR ambassador from the first day I went to my orientation. So my role, to simplify, as an NAR Global Ambassador to the Bahamas, is to develop relationship with the countries and serve as their international concierge. I do enjoy working and developing relationship, and I enjoy being part of this global family. It's been a spectacular experience, and I'm looking forward to continue with them. I've met great people such as Christine and all the other global ambassadors and many members of international members across the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you work with, how do you assist the Bahamas? Do you send them individuals? Do you send them companies? Is that part of your your calling as a ambassador?
That is part of it, but that will do that. We got us to be an ambassador. If somebody contact me, they are interested, either a buyer or seller, they are interested, I will refer them to the Bahamas again, as we have been talking throughout this meeting. I cannot personally sell in the Bahamas, just as I would not be able to sell, let's say, in another country, let's say New York, I have to be licensed there. So if a company is interested in doing some sort of development or interested in purchasing a singular person, I will contact one of the many licensed realtors in the Bahamas and I will refer them out to them. But also I have other associations, for example, the Miami Association, the Orlando Association, if they're interested in entering like a MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the Bahamas, I'll do the introduction and be there for them, and as they go through the process of signing the MOU. We've signed MOU with the Florida Realtors just this past year. It was an exciting event, and we are on the way of signing another MOU with Miami. I should say the Bahamas is.
And of course, you're with us as well. We're signing MOU as well. So as you go to these various different places, being a non-resident of those countries, what do you like best? What do you find the most interesting on your tours of these countries, and what makes you continue to do this year after year?
Well, I'm a global enthusiastic. I love anything that encompasses global and international relations. Hence my degrees in international relations. I absolutely love it, mainly concentrated in the Caribbean and Latin America. But as a tourist, when I go to the Bahamas, one of the things that I absolutely love about the Bahamas, a lot of people don't know that. One of them, for those who love wine, the Bahamas is the world's third largest wine cellar, is in Nassau. And when I love going there, I like taking a tour at the Cray Leaves wine cellar. That's absolutely a must. It is home to about 250 different bottles for over 400 wineries in the countries, and you could pair it with cheese and spirits and take souvenirs back home to give to your families. So that's one of the things that I like doing as well. And I love scuba diving. I don't know how to swim, so I use a life jacket. So for the Bahama is also the third largest barrier reef on the planet, and that's why it's a very popular destination to scuba divers and snorkelers. And it stretches more than 190 miles length, and is also the homes to countless creatures, exotic creatures. Is the biggest barrier reefs in the world. So that's another thing that I do enjoy doing in the Bahamas when I go there, is snorkeling with a life jacket or behind my husband's back because I don't know how to swim. So, which I'm learning. I will be swimming soon. The next time I go there, I'll be a full swimmer. And the other thing I like about the Bahamas is how clear the waters are. It's some of the world's most clearest water is in the Bahamas. Even the world's famous NASA astronaut, Scott Kelly, called the Bahamas the most beautiful place from the space because you could see the waters from there. Even in person, the water is so crystal clear and turquoise, you can see the bottom of the deep sea from the water surface. So that is absolutely amazing to see. So I love that. And another fun fact that people don't really know about the Bahamas as well is Hollywood loves Bahamas. They've been over 30 films made there, like the Pirates of the Caribbean, Casino Royale, and many countless others that were made in the Bahamas. It's a very popular destination even for Hollywood.
That used to be in the film business, so I know that a lot of those guys, they have to really entice these actors to really have to go to a place like that, right? It's just so terrible that they have to
They
go.
put a gun in their head and they say, you must go to the clear, beautiful climate, place of the Bahamas. And I'll take their place if they don't want to.
While we have you, I know that you're predominantly dealing with Bahamas, but make sure you put your name on here and your contact information, because for people like myself, who my grandfather was from Trinidad,
Okay.
I'd like to know more about that, and then
Okay.
and then and they lived all over the Fiji, all these places, in Jamaica, and all of that. So it's great. Christine, I'm going to call you on, and maybe we get some more questions, because we're going to be wrapping up soon here. But one of the things is, it's very easy to talk about it, easy to be let's put it, a cheerleader for another group if you go there, right? So if I come to the Bahamas, where are the key places I should go and the key places I should eat, and that you could recommend that's there, and tell us about your favorite, both of you, your favorite foods in the Bahamas, because part of what this group is also about talking about the cultural aspects, not just the business, but so much of, especially in the islands, right? It's so much of it is building relationships and understanding. My mother's from Hawaii, so what we call ohana, the family, right? Parts of growing up on an island there. Can you speak to that? Either one of you.
Yeah. Oh, should I go? Okay.
Either.
Well, that's just so much to say. Well, we have conch salad, cracked conch fritters. Conch is, to me, one of my favorite here in the Bahamas. You can get that anywhere. And then you've got the fish. You've got boiled fish, steamed fish. There's so many different dishes. A lot of places to go. You've got the poop deck. You've got the poop deck restaurant. There's one out east and there's one out west near Delaport. And then, okay, let's forget about Nassau. Let's island hop over to Exuma. Okay, so when we go to Exuma, you can swim with the pigs. Oh my goodness, that is an amazing experience. And then you have the underwater. You gotta tell me to stop now, because I could go on and on and on. And then you got the underwater cave in Exuma, Thunderball Grotto, where they named it after Thunderball, the movie, because they filmed Never Say Never. They filmed a lot of James Bond films there, Never Say Never Again, Thunderball, Dr. No, things like that. And then you also have Compass Key with the nurse sharks. And if you go on social media, Instagram, a lot of people will they'll do a lot of social media from these places, so it's great. I
didn't know about the pigs. My assistant, when she was putting together the wait to get in, photo on there,
yeah,
she had a pig. I said, "What do you have a pig on there for?" She goes, "Everybody swims with the pigs out there." I go, "Really? I didn't know that."
Yeah, you got to carry apples. Always carry apples. But anybody, put this out there. Anybody coming down to the Bahamas and want to take a boat ride, of course, it's better to go on the boat from. It's a beautiful experience to go on a boat from Nassau, because then you're able to just go down through the keys, and it's just beautiful. You pass Tyler Perry's Key. Well, I think Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, they're selling their key. Sorry to see them go. But then you've got David Copperfield, Musha Key. So there's all kinds of stuff. But you just sail through there and kind of give them a wave and stuff like that. But anybody wanting to do that, look, my husband is a AAA licensed boat captain, and I know other people. So just let me know. Call me. Happy to help.
Paul, in your turn.
In my opinion, the best places to visit in the Bahamas, well, is everything that she said. Absolutely. Swimming with the pigs, definitely a fun one. Snorkeling in, let me see, one of the best places that I enjoy snorkeling in the Bahamas is the Andrews Barrier Reef.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one is absolutely
Beautiful.
stunning. Yeah. And again, the winery, Great Cliffs. Winery. That's wine cellar. That's a very good one to visit.
And that's a very nice. Do they still have the hotel there as well?
Yes.
Great Cliffs, yeah.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
very nice place to stay, and they also are one of the predominant or preeminent, I should say, cigar makers there, right? They used to roll those, and they have. It's hard to get here. It's a very expensive cigar, but it is considered highly prized.
Yes.
Yeah. And I had a message from one of our board members, Paul. She's going to contact you, Millicent, because she doesn't swim either, and she'd like to learn how to do that swimming with underwater swimming. Yeah, life jacket.
Just hang on somebody else's back. Make sure not to drown them. Keep your hand off their neck.
Can you tell us certain things that are unique culturally around, and I know this is a broad question, but culturally around the Bahamas, something that's different that you think that's different, whether it's about the family infrastructure or about really the business of the doing British law type of things like that, or any of the things that you find. Have both of Christine, have you been to the States here before, or?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
We love to shop in the States, by the way.
I know, but I know.
Let's come over.
Well, I have friends who live close by who've never been out of their place, and I didn't want to take.
Yeah, and it's here too. It's here as well. Yeah.
So, what things would you say that you, since both of you have been are by countries in those, which would you say would be the most interesting differences that you would have, not only in life but in business?
I think I think both Lana and I both spoke about this in terms of the title or registry that we have to, because we follow the British system. It takes a long time. It's like I'm always watching HGTV and all that kind of stuff, and I salivate sometimes when they can close a deal in 14 days or 10 days, and I'm like, oh man, if only, but if we could just make that change here, that would be great. But I don't know. But in terms of, you saying the different culture, we do have a lot of other things to offer. So I try to weigh it. I don't know. Paule, what do you think?
You're on mute.
My apologies. In terms of, I don't know, I was born here. I was born in Haiti, raised in Dominican Republic. I think the biggest difference, I would say, if I was still in Miami and going to the Bahamas, would be the language. Because Miami predominantly they speak Spanish, I speak Spanish. So, but I have to say, between the United States and the Bahamas, culturally, it is more resembled to my culture. So that could be one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. The people and the culture, similar foods. We eat very, very similar food because I'm a Caribbean. So I enjoy it. I guess I'll say a little bit of the different type of food. That would be one difference between the US and the Bahamas food. Business-wise, I don't know which one to pinpoint at this time, but because it will be a bit different, even if it's from Florida to Georgia, there will still be some differences. So I'll have to say that the food and the culture and the music, okay, from a tourist standpoint.
Okay, last words. What would you like to say, Paul? Anything you'd like to say to the membership here? Also, before you,
I would like to say thank you very much. It's been an excellent experience. I enjoyed it. You guys have been, Daniel, Gito, you've been very, very good host.
thank you.
And it was very nice to see everybody, and looking forward to seeing you all again, preferably in person. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, Christine, in the Bahamas.
And for those, we really encourage everyone to get involved in not only the Florida Association, but the National Association, and to find more about the ambassadorship programs and everything. Feel free to reach out to Paul, and we have members here on our own board here who are also part of that. And so we ask that you do the same as there. Christine, would you like to say anything of last to the membership?
I would just like to say thank you so much, Mr. G2. I appreciate this honor to be able to be here and present and say a little bit about, you know, how we do things here in the Bahamas. But I think it's important. We're in this together. I hope to hear from, you know, each and every one of you. If you're ever coming down to the Bahamas, we are your neighbors. They always say when, oh gosh, I'm gonna do it. But anyway, they always say when Florida, you know, catches a cold, we start to sneeze. That's how close we are, you know. But we're together in this. You know, we are neighbors. We're just a hop, skip, and a jump away. And you know, I am always here to help with any questions, and you can always reach out to Lana as well. You know, we have a wealth of knowledge, but it's been an honor, and this has definitely been an experience for me on this call today, or the Zoom meeting today. So this has been great. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and hopefully the next time we see each other, we'll see each other in the Bahamas. It's
Yes.
yeah, I look forward to that. I need a rest. I'm tired. I'm working too hard. So
You could go work in the Bahamas.
yeah, but I have to be a permanent resident. Remember, everyone. Well, thank you so much for your time, and at the let's see, I got something from Carla at the Bahama. Let me see what
Bahama Mouth with cocktails.
Oh, the Bahama Mar with cocktails. Wonderful.
Yeah. And if I could say one more thing, well, as Carla just mentioned, Bahama, BREA has an extended discount, I think until the 22nd of December. So if anybody's coming down, let me know. I'll send you the code, and you can stay at Bahama for a discounted rate. I just thought I'd say that. Bahama should love me. I should be getting paid for this. Sorry.
Christine, can I have a question for you?
Yeah.
Do they still have, maybe I should check that out. It's been a while since I'm no longer in Miami. Do they still have the taxi boats that goes from like Fort Lauderdale area down to the Bahamas? They still doing those?
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. I know they're having some, they have some of the little small, they're not as big as cruise ships, but they're a little smaller. Maybe.
Yeah.
I know they started them up again. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for your time and your effort. And I hope we get to do some business together. And I'm looking forward to coming to visit you in the Bahamas. And then you can, I don't know if I'll swim with a pig, but I'd be glad to. I'm more of an eater. All right. Thank you very much. And have a wonderful Christmas to everyone. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Do we leave? Are you controlling that? Okay.